Well, good afternoon, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning, this afternoon. Good to be with you. I'm so used to saying good morning to you. Okay. Now, yesterday, I couldn't say hello to anybody. I didn't see one name appear on our... Okay. Okay, you're getting your notifications. Nice to have you on. And let me see. I am seeing some names today. Janice, Rosalinda from the frozen kidneys of Canada. Wendy, good afternoon. Amber, nice to have you on from New Jersey. Lynn from Aurora. Fran, Orangeville, how are you? Fran. And Lisa Marie, nice to have you. Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Paul from Edmonton, Alberta. Kevin from Oshawa. Frida. Nativity, how are you? Good to have you on. We appreciate you guys coming on. Hi, Madalena from Laval, Quebec. Rose from Peterborough. And Diane from Peterborough. Hey, 2 in a row. Wanda, Ridgeway. Yvonne, Petawawa. And Danny. Good afternoon, Danny. Yvonne. Sylvia, nice to have you on. Kathy from Simcoe. And let me see. Couple of more guys and we'll get into our programming. Hi, Wendy from London. And let's say hello to... Who's coming? Okay, say hello. Here we go. Okay, we got at least 10 studies that I've got. Gail from Mount Pearl, Newfoundland. Lisa from Alberta. Gabriella, there we go. Now the list is coming up again. And Gabriella is from Montreal. Kathy, Stony Creek. And, okay. 1. Yeah, okay. Hi, Laurie. Hi, Linda from New Brunswick. Okay, let me get to these... Well, I shouldn't say they're all studies. I think there was at least 6 or 7 new studies. I want to comment on that. And hi, Francis from Vaughan. Okay, one of them was an article just on dehydration. It was amazing to me when I was in practice, guys. Okay? And I know I've mentioned this in the past, but... how often I saw dehydration. People don't realize that, unfortunately, there's no little light, that goes off in your body that tells you that you're dehydrated. It would be nice to know because a lot of people, I used to measure blood viscosity, and boy, I'll tell you, 50, 60% of people were dehydrated. You have to assume if you're on any medication at all, you're going to deal with dehydration. And it's really, really important. And I used to tell people, look, okay, you might not have symptoms of, well, most people didn't even know the symptoms of dehydration. But, for example, I said, well, one of the most common symptoms of dehydration is a headache. I'm not saying all headaches are dehydration, but the vast majority of them are. It's amazing. When I used to give a little bit of salt water, like 99% water and a dash of salt, people said, my headache has gone away. Incredible. So that, and heart racing a little fast, even an increase in blood pressure a lot of times was fixed by hydrating properly. Dizziness when standing up quickly oftentimes is a sign of dehydration. And here's one, a lot of people get this. It's amazing. This is much more common today than it ever was, by the way. You know what it is? Muscle spasms, cramps. You know, a lot of times you get up in the middle of the night and you got a cramp. And, you know, it can be very painful, but that's dehydration, guys. And you know this, I say this all the time, okay? I say this all the time. Dehydration isn't just water, it's mostly water. I like a little bit of sodium. I like a little bit of minerals in there, okay? And some people are using electrolytes. I got no problem with that. But your sodium, potassium pump are really important when it comes to your kidneys, your heart, your blood pressure. So, the headline on this would be dehydration, much more common than people think. And like I said, you must assume any medication at all. And the vast majority of people are on medication, you're going to be dehydrated. You need at least 2 liters of water, 64 ounces for my American audience, okay? At least, okay? Now, I posted this one last week. Was it yesterday or last week? I don't remember. Massive study. 28,000 people followed over a period of 25 years. And here's what they found. People who ate the most high-fat cheese, cream, had a decreased risk of Alzheimer's. That goes against the grain, guys. That goes against the grain. But you guys, my audience, who are not saturated stupid, because that's what I call it, saturated stupidity, is people who vilified fat. And today, you still got lots of gurus vilifying fat. And I, over the years, I've said, well, first of all, fat don't make you fat. And fat is good for you. Fat is the best fuel. Fat does not give you cholesterol or what they call bad cholesterol. And fat is only good for you. You don't get problems with diabetes because you're eating fat. You don't get problems with uric acid because you're eating fat. You get it because you're eating sugar. Massive study, eating more full-fat cheese and dairy, cream, decreases the risk of Alzheimer's. 25-year study. Findings, this is in the headlines. Findings challenge decades of low-fat dietary advice. Yeah, big time. Big time. Okay? So we posted that. And I love it. Fathead. Hi, guys. Hi. How are my fellow fatheads? When you look at Alzheimer's, by the way, when they look at Alzheimer's in autopsies, the brain has shrunk. Looks like a prune. It's fat-free. Is that what you want? It's cholesterol-free. Is that what you want? And by the way, the number one fat in your brain is DHA fat. That's why I love DHA. For your brain, for your heart, for your circulation, for lubrication, for your eyes, DHA, omega-3. The best of all the fats, the fatty acids, omega-3s. Okay. New study, number 3. New study in the on magnesium and breast cancer. Okay? And this study said those with increased magnesium levels, very hard to measure, by the way, magnesium in your blood. Okay? It's not a good indication because magnesium belongs in your tissue. Okay? But new studies showing increase in magnesium intake, a decrease in breast cancer. And the study went on to say that it was probably due, according to the authors, in magnesium's ability to lower inflammation. Now, magnesium does a lot of things, guys. Okay? Whenever I think magnesium, I think relax. It relaxes your blood vessels. It's a very important part. Magnesium is involved in, I don't know, about 600 things. Magnesium is very important for blood sugar. Magnesium is important for the absorption of vitamin D. Probably the reason that they're saying that magnesium intake, if it increases, decreases inflammation. Yeah, probably through its ability to help the body absorb vitamin D. But magnesium is very good for blood sugar too. It helps your insulin. And magnesium, of course, and sleep, very important, right? Okay, so new study says magnesium intake decreases your risk of breast cancer. So I love magnesium, okay? I really do. And I've been talking about magnesium for well over 40 years, probably more than that. And we love it. It decreases inflammation. It decreases oxidative stress. It helps with your uptake of vitamin D. And it does a lot of things. This is a new study on walking, especially after you eat at nighttime. So the study says that walking just 10 minutes after eating at night will help to improve your blood sugar levels and help to regulate insulin. Now, we usually, okay, we got it upside down a little bit, okay, in North America. It's our lifestyle. I think that's pretty common, that people usually have a very heavy supper, okay, compared to, I'm not saying everyone, okay, but we have it sort of upside down because you're better off having a heavy meal in the morning or at lunch. A lot of people fast in the morning and have their big meal at lunch. Better, you have lots of time to digest it. But let's be practical. Most people have their heavier meal at night, okay? And what this study is saying is if you just go for a walk, 10 minutes, you don't have to go far. It really helps to regulate blood sugar. So that's a nice practical point. I like walking, by the way, very much, okay? Walking's so good for you. Is there anything negative about walking? Okay? Now, I talked to a former patient that slipped on the ice and broke her leg and broke her wrist. So she'd say, well, walking, doc, yeah, maybe not on the ice was such a good idea, okay? Happens a lot. It's amazing, okay? And anyway, but there's nothing negative about walking. It's so so good for you. Okay? It is so good for you. And what they've shown too in the studies, it not only regulates blood sugar and decreases the amount of insulin that you need. Thirdly, it helps your blood vessels at the endothelial. That's your Teflon layer of your blood vessels, and it helps them to make your blood vessels even more slippery. Wow. Who knew that? Who knew that? So that's a study on walking, a new study on breast cancer that we talked about in magnesium, full fat. Let me see. Do I have a few more? I think so. Okay. Get to my notes. Butter consumption. This is an article. Butter consumption down 62% over the last 100 years. Crazy, right? Obesity's up, heart disease is up, and yet they'll still blame butter. And they don't even take into consideration the vegetable oils and how inflammatory those things are. I know there's pushback on that now. I see it. Well, you know, vegetable, who said they were bad? Dr. Martin? He's a quack. You know, there really is pushback because it's a big industry. Okay? Like I can tell you in Canada, it's a huge industry, the canola oil industry. Okay? It's a big industry. And in Saskatchewan, and I think Saskatchewan's probably the number one province in Canada that produces canola. And they just signed a deal to get it back into China. The Chinese love Canadian canola oil. Now listen, I'm not against trade or free trade, okay? I'm just saying that, when it comes to your health, canola oil versus butter, not even close. Canola oil, you can literally run an engine on it. Try using butter in your engine. It won't work, guys. But your body knows exactly what butter is. Okay? Your body knows. Your body really doesn't know, and that's why you get the inflammatory response. I believe it's one of the reasons, besides being higher in omega-6. Your body doesn't know what it is. It is a man-made oil. Your body cannot process it properly. So that's a big, big issue. Okay? So butter consumption down 62% over the last 100 years. I knew it was down. I didn't know it was down 62%. It's crazy. And here we have more heart disease than ever. We have more obesity than ever. Can't be the butter. Right? Can't be the butter. I tell you, these so-called vegetable oils, a perfect trifecta, okay, is sugar, bad oil, turned into bad fat, i.e. a donut, okay? A donut. Think donut. How do they make them? Anyway, okay. Butter consumption down 62%, and every chronic disease that you can think of is up by way over 62%. Can't be the butter. Okay. A new study showing 11 autoimmune diseases linked to low levels of... I'm going to ask you to answer that question, okay? 11 autoimmune diseases linked to low levels of, let's see if anybody can give me on the scroll the answer to that. What are autoimmune is 100%, by the way, leaky gut. I've never seen an exception to it. But what vitamin is low? Roxanne, you're 100% right. Okay? Margaret, B12, you're close. Kevin, you got it. Vitamin D. Janet, vitamin D. Jean, vitamin D. I love you guys because you think along the way I do. Okay, Therese said B12. Georgie, vitamin D. Rosa says B12. You guys in your B12 and vitamin D. Laura, or Lori, vitamin D. Anna, vitamin D. Andrea, vitamin D. You're right. Donna, and they're probably low in B12 too. I agree with that. Leela, you're right. Francis, you're right. Lisa Marie, you're right. My students. Simone, you're right. Jean. Oh, I love you guys. You know why I love you so much? Imagine being a teacher. Paul, you're right. Gina, you're right. Imagine being a teacher. Paul's saying probiotics too. Well, you're absolutely right there too, because 100%, Veronica, Kathy, 2 Kathys in a row, and Kathy said, I saw the scroll. I love you so much, Fran. IT. You cheated. You saw the scroll. Margaret was going to say vitamin D. But guys, Milika, okay. Now put yourself in my position for a minute. Okay? Pretend for a minute, you're Dr. Martin. Okay? I'm giving you, okay, you're Dr. Martin. You're giving me a quiz. And I get it right. Almost every time. Without exception, hardly. What do you think that does for a teacher, guys? Okay? What do you think that does for a teacher? I go, man, I don't want to trick you. I want you to learn. And even if I try and trick you, I can't even trick you guys. You're too stinking smart. I love that. So you see how encouraging that is? I knew I could give you that little quiz and you guys would get it. You would get it. Holy smokes. What a crew we have. What a crew we have. Okay, guys, a little bit of a shortened version today. Why not? Right? We'll just keep it short and sweet. Friday, send your questions in, okay? Questions. Somebody asked me about trace minerals right now. I think I saw it this afternoon. I like trace minerals. Okay? I like trace minerals. If you put a Himalayan salt into water, you're getting trace minerals, 84 of them. So yeah, I love trace minerals. You know, if you want to get drops and put drops in your water of trace minerals, I got no problem with that. People ask me about electrolytes now, electrolytes have become popular. Do I like them? I like electrolytes. I do. I really do. Okay? Anyway, you guys, smart. I love it. Okay? What you guys know in nutrition, in natural medicine, I tell you guys this all the time, but I'm going to say it again. I put my audience up against anybody else's audience, and I mean it. It wouldn't even be close if we had a contest. It wouldn't be close. I'd say my students are going to win, and sure enough, you get it right. Okay. That is so encouraging for me. You have no idea. Okay, guys, we love you. Thanks for tuning in on the afternoon. We're going to do this again Thursday afternoon. At least that's the plan, okay? Tomorrow, Wednesday, is our morning time, as usual, okay? 8:30 Eastern time, okay? Love you guys. Talk to you soon.